it all in the mix for 2026. Now, I have some new shows to talk about, and I have some special guests because, you know, it's the #1 show in Central Virginia, Community Conversations, and we're going to talk about it. Green spaces. Green spaces are very important to the fold. Now, turn me all the way up. The City of Richmond Office of Sustainability works to make Richmond healthier, greener, and more resilient through the RVA Green 2020 plan, the city's community-driven climate action and equity initiative. And you're saying, I don't want to talk about equity and initiative. This is the weekend. I have my very special guest joining me on the show. She is the Director of Sustainability for the City of Richmond, Miss Laura Thomas. How are you?
Oh, hi, Clovia. I am doing great. Good morning. It's so great to be with you today.
Now, we're talking about RVA Green 2025. What does RVA Green 2050 requires for all of us as citizens here in the city of Richmond?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked it that way because it really does take everybody in the city of Richmond to make an impact and to make our community more beautiful, more vibrant, cleaner, and healthier for ourselves, for our families, and for our future generations. So we focus on a lot of different topics, whether that is getting people out of their cars and into maybe a bike or an electric vehicle.
A walk?
A walk, absolutely, on a cold winter morning, right? All the way to things like planting trees and making sure we have increased green space, to waste reduction efforts like reducing the amount of plastic that's in our community.
Hold up. Plastic.
Yeah, plastic.
Now, we are talking about plastic. When I'm looking on the website, by the way, you can go to the website at rvagreen2050.com. And I'm like, okay, making the city of Richmond greener, safer, healthier. And then that 3-letter word popped up. And, you know, I was looking up because this is tax season. What is the plastic bag tax?
Yes, absolutely. Richmond's new plastic bag, you said it, tax. That started on January 1st of 2026, so brand new for us here. And that essentially is saying that from now on, we pay 5 cents for every plastic bag that we use when we're at a grocery store, a pharmacy, or a convenience store. And that is moving forward from now on in the city of Richmond.
Okay. Effective here in the city of Richmond. The tax applies to single-use plastic bags provided at checkout, whether free or for sale. Somebody's going to get taxed on that, which is us. The Virginia Department collects the revenue through Standard Tax Filings Form ST9.
Yes. So it's something that businesses are easy to adapt to, right? They already fill out monthly forms that go to the state, and now they're going to report on how many plastic bags they sold every month, too. So the tax, that 5 cents for every bag that you use, that goes to the state. 4 pennies of that nickel come back to the city of Richmond, and 1 penny of that nickel goes back to the business itself. So they make a little bit of money. They can pass on the costs. They can absorb the costs themselves. It's up to them. But ultimately, we're trying to reduce the total number of plastic bags that we're using here in the city.
What is the matter with plastic bags?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, because I know that there are folks listening out there that say...
I think they're a little mad at you already, Laura.
They might be, but we're actually saving money through this process, and we're making the environment cleaner. You know, back in the day, we used to use paper bags only, and then we were told, you got to switch to plastic because we got to save the trees. Well, that's not necessarily wrong. We do want to make sure that we're supporting our urban tree canopy and supporting forests. And paper bags are recyclable. The thing about plastic, though, it gets everywhere. Those plastic bags don't end up where we really want them to go. They end up all over the community. So you'll see them in trees. You'll see them in storm drains. You'll see them mucking up and getting dirty all the places around us. and they contain what's called microplastics, these teeny little things that break down from plastic bags, and they can even get into your bloodstream, into our waterways. So you want to make sure we're reducing as much of that as possible.
All from a plastic bag.
All from a plastic bag.
So for folks who are just listening, you want to learn more about this new law here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, went into effect on January 1. RVAgreen2050.com. The average Richmonder uses 7 plastic bags each week, which results in over 80 million plastic bags entering the city's water stream every year.
That's so many bags.
But bags are everywhere, though.
They are everywhere, absolutely. And the city spends a lot of money on cleaning up around the city, whether it be plastic bags or other litter. And so we want to reduce those costs. And we're trying to do that by encouraging folks to use less plastic. So we're hopeful that overall we're going to be saving dollars for all of our taxpayers here while also making the city more beautiful and vibrant.
If just 1 in 4 Richmonders switch to reusable bags for groceries and errands, the city could eliminate just over 20 million bags annually. So I see that's the big thing. But these reusable bags are nice and colorful.
Yes, we have some really cool ones that the city is handing out.
Okay.
So anybody that wants a reusable bag, that needs a reusable bag, we want to make sure we have one for you. So we'll be distributing and passing out these reusable bags at different pop-ups and community events. We've been to city council districts. We've been to every impacted business within the city, and we're making sure that we're promoting and sharing these bright, fun, colorful bags that we have. But they're also at the store. So if you are somewhere and you're picking a few things up and you want to get your own reusable, you can purchase it there and leave it in your car when you're done, or have it somewhere close by so that when you go to the store, it's right there already for you.
I see a lot of people are doing that. And as you talked about, I'm learning more about plastic bags because I want to educate myself because they have been so convenient for so long. But it's time for us to change. My mom, she's always on the paper bag. She's doing that. Now she's doing reusable bags. She's never been a friend of plastic bags. But again, for us younger generation and the generations, it's just so easy to do. But I am seeing students now with the reusable bags. Plastic bags never decompose. They just don't go away, huh?
They just don't go away. Plastic, a lot of folks may not know that it's actually made of oil. So it's an oil product, and when it gets hardened and forms into plastic, it can actually break. And that's those microplastics I was talking about. And they get so teeny, teeny, tiny that you couldn't even see them if you wanted to. And they are permanent in our environment. These don't go away. And so when you think you're throwing something away, it actually stays in a landfill or wherever it goes for thousands and thousands of years. So we want to make sure that we're reducing it. That 40 million that we can eliminate just in the city of Richmond. Imagine the impact we could have if all the cities and places across the country were able to implement this kind of thing. We're hopeful that by joining these other cities, we're going to be making a bigger impact than just by ourselves.
Wow. And it will be reducing some of the gas over at the landfills, like in the city of Richmond, of course.
Yes, absolutely. So the landfills that are used in this area, they can emit harmful methane gas. It's an off gas from landfills. And so the more that you put into the landfill, the more that comes out of it. And we want to reduce that as much as possible. And one of the goals of RVAgreen2050.com is to reduce or eliminate as much waste as we can.
Well, we're starting it off.
Yes.
We're going to take a break and come on back. This is a really good show. I know we're talking about the tax of the plastic bags, but the reusable bags are really, really nice. And folks can come up with some nice creations for entrepreneurship with reusable bags and more. We're going to talk about the community engagement and involvement and how we can move people over to other means of shopping and running errands. In the meantime, while we take this break, you can go to RVAgreen2050.com. That's RVAgreen2050.com. I am this community Clovia, keeping it all things community. Talk about the new law that went into effect on January 1, 2026 when it comes to tax on your plastic bags. They do not decompose. They can get icky, icky, icky. They are never going away, and they can pretty much bring down the community with the junk and the mess. And and we didn't mention this last time, Laura. Laura is director of sustainability for the city of Richmond. I've seen this happen. You're on the highway, and a plastic bag flies to your windshield, and then hook on to your windshield wiper.
Yeah, that's scary, right?
Yeah.
And that happens all the time on your vehicle. And so they also pose a safety risk to drivers. And we know how important that pedestrian and bicycle safety is here. So it's just another reason why we want to make sure that we're reducing those bags as much as possible.
Yeah, reusable. Let's go. Let's talk about some of the business and community engagement that you're doing with the RVAgreen2050.com.
Yeah, absolutely. So RVA Green 2050 is your community equity action plan for climate change. And it was developed in a community and equity-centered way. What does that mean? It means that we in the Office of Sustainability and the city, we gave the decision-making authority to the community to determine what they want in the plan. So we didn't decide it. You all did, right? And so because of that, we're really excited to go from planning to implementation. And now we are working on implementing RVA Green 2050. All 136 action items in that plan have been laid out by the community, and we've already completed 28% of those actions.
That's good stuff.
It's amazing stuff. One of those action items happens to be a plastic bag tax. And so it is all full circle. We are here doing the work that the community has asked, and we are excited to be continuing our engagement with folks. So we are going to your city council persons' district meetings. We are going to pop-up events. We are going to different concerts and shows just to make sure we're spreading the information, and you all have reusable bags if you'd like them. We're handing those out everywhere that we go. And we've also been to all of the businesses here in the city of Richmond that are impacted. Do you know how many businesses are impacted by this tax?
Over 150 or
It's
something?
definitely over 150. It's over 200 individual businesses. It could be a grocery store. It could be a pharmacy. Or it could be a convenience store. So we went to every single one of those to give them information, to provide more resources, because we realize if we're doing something that impacts other people, we have to meet them where they're at.
Yes.
And help them understand and give them as many resources as we possibly can. So we've done so much engagement, and we just want to keep doing it. So if y'all have events where you think we should be, reach out and let us know.
And just bringing that information and having demonstrations and talking about it, that's very important. And you can do a pop-up at any time, anywhere in the city of Richmond, giving out reusable bags.
Yes, exactly. And if you go to, again, RVAgreen2050.com, we'll list where those pop-ups are going to be and share more information, because we want to make sure that anybody that wants a bag gets a bag, right? We want to make sure that folks know how to keep items near them in their car or somewhere else, so it's easy and not something that you forget at the end of your shopping trip when you're at the checkout, and you can choose between a reusable or your own. We hope that you've brought your reusable, so we're happy to give those out for folks too.
And you'll probably need more than one, when you're shopping.
Yes.
And those are just some things to think about it. But they're really cute. I have a couple of them. They're cute. I tried it the other day, but I promise you I didn't touch that plastic. I wanted to because it was so simple to do. And I think it's going to be a transition because it has always been convenient. Because when you go to the grocery store, you go to the grocery store empty-handed. And now you go into the grocery store with this bag, whether it's in your cart or you're rolling it up and you're doing it. And it's just making an adjustment. But it's good to save our lives as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a small adjustment. Sometimes those can be hard to remember.
Yeah.
So when you figure out what process works for you, stick to it. And there are tons of really cute bags out there. We've seen folks find artists to design their own bags for them, local artists for that. We've gone with the city and done some fun, bright, colorful ones that are really cute and kind of retro looking. So there's definitely a lot of options out there. Make sure to get the size and type that works for you. Maybe you need that wine bag, or maybe you need an extra big bag for all your kids' lunches, whatever it is. The different types are going to work for you based on what your needs are.
And I think it's fun to do when I'm just thinking about the colors of the bag. But most importantly, I'm thinking about, even though we're having this show, we're talking about the tax, we're talking about green, we're talking about climate change, equity, and economics. But the most important thing to me, to my listeners, is the safety and bringing the educational piece and understanding that it's just a simple change. Or we mentioned off air, and I thought you raised a good point. It's like, okay, you go to the grocery store and you pick up one item, right? And it's a small item and you have it in this big plastic bag. Well, you can hold that item in your hand. It's according to whatever the item is. But if it's just a simple item, you can hold it in your hand with your receipt if you didn't bring your reusable bag. Or you can put it in your purse once you pay for it.
Yes,
and get your receipt. I just wanted to be clear. And I think having a show of this magnitude, because there are going to be new laws that are going into effect. Virginia's General Assembly is in session now. There will be new laws, hundreds of new laws that will go into effect on July 1. Some will do July 1 and some will do the following year. And in the case, when it comes to plastic bags, we were talking about it. Oh, they're going to allow plastic. Okay, it's coming or whatever. It goes into effect January 1 of this year. Did y'all hear? January 1 of this year.
This year, yeah, that's right. So we're already implementing the plastic bag tax. That's here in the city of Richmond. And then you're talking about the General Assembly. There was another law that was passed that says statewide, starting on July 1st of this year, all styrofoam, right? You know, the styrofoam cups that you might get, or
that's so easy.
Yes, or maybe it's a clamshell and you've got a burger in there. But that styrofoam is going to be banned for all establishments that have 20 or more units in the state of Virginia. So, for example, if there's a fast food chain with 20 or more units anywhere in the state, on July 1 of this year, they will be banned from using styrofoam. And that goes into effect for every establishment on July 1st of the following year. So there's more things, like you said,
there are a lot
that
of companies that have
out.
already started.
Yes.
Last year.
Absolutely. You can see that it's happening in other places. And when they're a really big organization, it's easy for them and their like supply chain and the back end to just switch it for everybody. So if they're switching it somewhere, they tend to switch elsewhere too.
So your plastic bags are going to be gone. Your styrofoam plates and cups are going to be gone by July 1. And it's going to be fully effective for every establishment across the Commonwealth in 2027, that is. We have to make sure when it comes to, a lot of times people talk and they're talking about, I don't deal with government. I don't want to have anything to do with it. But then you're going to start complaining when things change in your city and or your Commonwealth. And this is a new law that's in effect. And I love what you're doing with your Office of Sustainability. You're going to be popping up and giving people reusable bags.
Yeah, and not only that, the revenue that's generated from this tax, we can't just use it for anything. It's very explicit. It's very specific what we can do with it. The state mandates only a few things. So these dollars that we raise from this tax will be used to purchase more reusable bags for SNAP and WIC recipients. We'll be conducting litter cleanups. And most importantly, we're going to be doing education and outreach about pollution. So whether that be litter or climate and carbon pollution, we'll be giving all of this back to the community. So it's not just a chance to put a tax on something that is bad for us, but it's a chance to really give back to everybody. So maybe we'll be going to schools and doing litter reduction education and having fun, games and things to educate our children, because children can actually drive a lot of change in families.
They will.
When your kids come home and tell you ought to be recycling, you tend to do it.
Like, okay. Absolutely. They are. They're going to be the leaders of change, and we have to give them that opportunity to do so. Laura Thomas is Director of Sustainability for the City of Richmond, and we're going to take a break and come on back. If you're just joining us, you can go to rvagreen2050.com. That's rvagreen2050.com. Stay close. It's been a green conversation all the way for the first of the year, right here on Community Conversations. I am Miss Community Clovia, and my special guest is Laura Thomas, Director of Sustainability for the City of Richmond, and we've been pumping it all the way up. rvagreen2050.com. That's rvagreen2050.com. And exactly, Laura, what is it? What's the matter, and what will be the big changes in the Commonwealth of Virginia after that plastic bag tax?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm so excited to be here with you and talking about rvagreen2050.com or RVA Green 2050, our Climate Equity Action Plan. So this is a plan put together by the community for the community. And the Office of Sustainability is busy implementing that plan on your behalf. We've actually completed already 28% of it. And one specific action item that we're talking about today is the plastic bag tax that went into effect on January 1st of this year. And that means that every plastic bag you use at a grocery, convenience, or pharmacy in the city of Richmond, it's a 5-cent charge for that bag. So we can collect that money and use it on good things like education and outreach about litter reduction, or buying reusable bags for SNAP and WIC recipients. We're here to make sure that folks are aware of what's going on and to provide the information and resources they need as we implement this change.
It's very important to do so. And then quickly we talked about the tax and what it will benefit. But let's talk about plastic bags. It's just not the best.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we've become so reliant on plastic. Plastic's actually an oil product, and so when you harden it and you get that plastic, it actually doesn't really go away. It takes thousands and thousands and thousands of years for plastic to break down, and then it just breaks down into some little thing called microplastics that you can't even see, and they just get everywhere in our waterways, in our food, in our bloodstream. So we don't want that in our bodies. We don't want that plastic bag hanging out in a storm drain, and it's so expensive to clean up, or hanging in a tree where it's gross and gets in our way.
Yuck.
So plastic is out, and we're happy to be supporting efforts at overall waste reduction as well.
Reusable bags all the way.
Yes.
Reusable bags. And I like it. And keep me posted. And of course, we want to send folks to the website rvagreen2050.com. So if you're having an event and you would like rvagreen2050.com to come up with brochures and more and do presentations, reach out to them. And the proper use of the reusable bags and where you choose and where you can purchase them, and or they can get them from you during your pop-ups, right, Laura?
Absolutely. So be sure to go to the website, sign up for our newsletter, stay informed while we implement this and many other efforts across RVA Green 2050. And we're just so excited to be supporting this new effort here in the city of Richmond.
No plastic bags,
Yay.
Reusable ones. This has been Community Conversations. I am Miss Community Clovia. Thank you for listening.